Mentioned previously, one way of locating some undiscovered gems is to search sites like eBay for aged domains. These domains are valuable not only because they're often cheap, as I highlighted in a previous video, but also because of the fact that they're not newly registered. The simple fact is that all the evidence suggests that Google and other major search engines accord more credibility to sites built under older domain names than they would if the name was brand new. Furthermore, while a new site that's built under a new domain may be dumped in the so-called Google sandbox, this is extremely unlikely to happen if the site attached to a domain has existed for several years. Whether or not this mythical sandbox exists, and it's a matter of some great debate, the fact is that if a webmaster builds a new site with a new domain name, Google might pick it up, but they're unlikely to index or list it for several months. Now, this does not happen with a new site that's tied to a domain name that's been around for a year or two. And this is particularly true if the domain name in question has never been used before. From experience, an aged domain with a clean history is just about the best option for anyone building a niche website, as it effectively is the best of both worlds. So, if you pick up an aged domain that your research shows to be clean, you have a resource that should easily sell at a price that allows a decent profit. One problem that I've probably suggested several times already is the fact that if you're working off a downloaded or emailed list of domain names that have just become available or are about to, you're not the only one looking at exactly the same information. There could be hundreds or thousands of people who have got access to the same details, and a proportion of these people are looking to turn a quick profit in exactly the same way that you are. Hence, it's a fact of the flipping life that sometimes you'll find a great domain name that will be gone before you finish your initial research. Despite the fact that this is something that you have to accept in exactly the same way as I and everybody else who flips domains must do, there are some steps that you can take that will gradually push you closer and closer to the front of the queue. To begin with, you've got to acquire a feel for what will sell and what will not. This sixth sense about what domains are profitable and what are not is something that you'll acquire with time and experience. However, I would recommend that you keep the domain list that you downloaded and note on them the names that are popular from the very beginning. This practice of writing the names and details down helps to fix them in your mind and creates a point of reference for the future too. Once you find domain names that appear to be popular, add them to a text file before searching for other similar domain names in the same market, and then you can add those to the text file list. As this file expands, you're gradually constructing a database of domains that should sell well. You can subsequently use your mass checker, every day if possible, to confirm whether individual domains have become available without waiting for a list to be published by a registrar. In this way, you can steal an edge on those who do wait to be told what domains have just become available. One factor that's little known amongst those who do not purchase domain names regularly is the fact that when you do so, you have a period of grace before it's finally irrevocably yours. During this period, which is 5 to 7 days, depending on the registrar that you're working with, you have the option of returning the domain to the registrar and getting your money back. They in turn put it back on the expired domains market. Now, this is obviously advantageous for you because it means that you can grab a domain and test the market before deciding whether it's really worth keeping or not. Unfortunately, however, this is also a disadvantage because the domain name registrars themselves can do exactly the same thing. In other words, there's nothing to stop them grabbing the best domain names the moment they expire, before you know anything about it, before bumping the price up and putting them back on the market. There have been rumours and stories for many years about this kind of thing going on, and some of the big name registrars are widely suspected of cherry-picking the most attractive domain names in this way. If a domain name was previously associated with a site that had already acquired some Google PageRank or attracted traffic, it's not difficult to understand why this would happen, and, given that buying domains is an open market, to suspect that it does go on. There is, unfortunately, nothing that you can do to stop this happening, if indeed it does, apart from using your list as proactively as you can and making sure that you get to it first. Another potential problem is that many who are active domain flippers believe that big registrars keep a close eye on the search activity of people who use their site. In other words, a registrar keeps an eye on the names that attract most attention from those who search their site before bagging them as soon as they become available. Now, there's been quite a lot of noise about this amongst the domain buying community over the last few years, and as a result, I suspect that it's far less prevalent nowadays. At the same time, however, once you appreciate that by using the search resource offered by most registry sites, you're serving up a commercial advantage to them on a silver platter, you rapidly become far less inclined to do so. For this reason, even if you're using GoDaddy, Namecheap, or Bluehost as your domain registrar, you might be better off searching for domain availability with a host with whom there might be less likelihood of a conflict of interest, such as VeriSign or here at Network Solutions. Okay, in the next video, I'm going to talk you through a method that you can use to beat the competition and stand a better chance of grabbing that expired domain.